Is that one a bit better? Or
I don't know, man. I like Rockfin because on Rockfin, I don't know. It's a little bit more of an exclusive platform, Rockfin, and we have the ability to monetize. I've had all my stuff on BitChute for like 3 years, and nobody really finds it on BitChute. Like no one sees it. So I like the Rockfin setup.
yeah.
Here we are. We're live on Rockfin. We're live on YouTube. Got my buddy Simon here. Simon, 4-year vegan activist turned ex-vegan. Can you believe it, guys? Somebody was vegan and then they decided to be ex-vegan. I mean, this is unprecedented, right? Who would have ever thought that that was even possible? Simon, thank you for joining, man. How's it going?
Yeah, no worries.
Awesome. Over there in the UK, Simon's cool. He's got an Instagram handle. It's sarcastic.simon on Instagram if you want to follow him over there. That's actually where he got in touch with me. And we've been kind of chatting a little bit in the last couple months and finally got him to come on. And we're going to talk about the vegan movement. We're going to talk about his experiences in it. We're going to talk about the real driving forces behind the vegan movement. We're going to get into all this stuff and maybe more, maybe less. We're going to go wherever Simon wants to go with it as well. So you guys who are watching, give a little shout out to Simon at sarcastic.simon over there on Instagram. And yeah, man, welcome to the show. How the heck did you get involved in veganism? How did this all start for you?
Garyovsky. Same as every fucker, isn't it?
All the hardcore, like the really hardcore ones who, it seems like Gary Yourofsky is he's a bridge for a lot of people that go hard with the vegan activism. Not surprising. So you want to explain a little bit about who Gary Yourofsky is, or maybe give a little background on him for those people in the audience who maybe have never even heard of him?
He was kind of like these sort of like hardcore activists, wasn't he, back in the day? Well, not even that long ago, probably like, I don't know, 9 years ago, maybe, something like that. I'm not really sure how far back he goes, but one of his speeches went famous, and then he turned a lot of people vegan, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he went real viral, I guess, for a while. But he was really brash, He was like, F these non-vegans. These people are murderers. My mother is a murderer, and my sister is the murderer. We've covered him a little bit. He's a character, man. Have you heard his rap? Yeah. You heard his rap song?
I have. Yeah. Paul. I want to try not to name too many names, but yeah, I've said it now. So Paul Bashir sent some of his raps through the AV chat.
Okay.
And he was quite good, to be fair.
I've only heard one of them. He wasn't so bad. He had good production, for sure.
Yeah. I think it rolled off his tongue very, very easily. He was quite like, it could have been a career for him, I think, but he went down, the whole vegan thing.
Well, he cut that beautiful mane as well.
Yeah.
You see, like, he's got the pictures back then. He's got like this lion's mane, like this big old blonde mane.
Yeah.
Looked totally different back then. So yeah, what was it about his message that really hit you? And like, how long did it take? Did it take a bunch of viewings and some thinking, or was it like, boom, this is it, I'm down?
No, I wasn't one of these that done it overnight. It was sort of a I'm not really sure the time span, but I remember watching it and it just planted a seed. That was probably like, the biggest thing that planted a seed in my mind, like. But I didn't go vegan till probably, I don't even know, probably about 4 months after, something like that. I watched his speech. But what's quite funny is the guy that had shared his link is a very old friend of mine, and he was raised a veggie, and he became a vegan. I can't remember how long he was vegan for, a few years before I became vegan. And he used to do like solo activism. So he would make a sign on his surfboard and he would stand outside Costa and he'd have stuff about the dairy industry on the surfboard, and he would just stand there in the street. He would do stuff like that on his own.
Would he talk to people, or would he just hold?
Yeah, he would do outreach on the street, but he wasn't afraid to do it on his own. And he was like, he was the biggest, sort of the only vegan that I knew. So I got chatting to him, and he'd sent me links to Jerry Carlstrong and stuff. But the funny thing is, he's no longer vegan anymore.
I hope we don't get him in trouble. Do vegans know?
I won't name him, but I mean, he's an old friend of mine. But he hasn't like Earthling Ed still follows him. I'm pretty sure he still follows him, but he's just sort of he just cut his social media.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think he told anyone because you just get so much flack for coming out.
I'm sure. Yeah, we've seen that over the years. I mean, like, actually, Tommy Kelly. I see Tommy Kelly in the chat right now. Is Flow Fitness?
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. He says that he actually. I'll read a comment from his. He says, "Always remember Simon's activism during my time with AV." And by AV, he's talking about Anonymous for the Voiceless. Is a really prominent activist group, and they do street theater activism with. I'll let you describe that. The Anonymous for the Voiceless, one of the activist groups that you ended up getting involved with. That Tom was watching was in as well.
Yeah. They're like a street activist organization who sort of, I suppose they like specialize in outreach on the street, basically, isn't it? They set up TV screens. So they got a thing called a cube where they stand in cube formation and they show footage to passers-by, and they can shoot the people around can choose whether to interact with the cube or not, basically.
Now, what I've heard from a lot of people that are involved in AV is that, like, you have to, there's a hierarchy as well. Not everybody is allowed to speak to people. Like, if you're a newbie, maybe you're allowed, and they wear Guy Fawkes masks as well. So they have this kind of like, their aesthetic is kind of like rebellious, anarchist, hacker aesthetic. And I think that kind of attracts a lot of like young, disillusioned kids. It's a good aesthetic if you're trying to bring this type of people in, right? Like people who want to be rebelling against the system. They wear all black. They have, they wear kind of like street clothes, hoodies with black hoodies with white writing on them, and the Guy Fawkes masks. They wear the hoods. They hold it. It's kind of got a culty vibe to most people, but it seems like they were relatively effective. I'm not sure how long-term effective it is, but
I don't think to be quite honest with you, I don't think it's that effective, really, because it's just conversations, and a lot of people, especially nowadays, everyone's in a rush. Do you know what I mean? That they don't really want to be stopping, and having a conversation about, where the food comes from and stuff like that. In my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's why I kind of said, like, I called it street theater, because when you look at these activist videos that you watch online, guys like Joey Carbstrong, Anonymous for the Voiceless, and like Paul Bashir and seemingly other people who, of course, all these people refuse to ever have public debates. I've called all these people. I actually had what's it called? A debate scheduled with Paul Bashir. He ended up backing out. They don't like to do actual debates. What's that?
Yeah, I remember receiving the message. I read the message from you on the AV social media, but I marked it as unread, so then Paul could respond to it.
Oh, so you were his assist, like you were running that account when I was interacting with it.
Yeah, because you'd sent voice notes and stuff, didn't you?
Yeah. No, we had voicemails, we had messages going back and forth, and we had it scheduled like 2 times, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And I was being a little cheeky. Like I got to admit, like I was making fun of him a little bit. I told him that I talked to my legal team, and he got really freaked out. And it was a joke. Like he said something about, he tried to give these conditions, and I said, yes, I'd spoke to my legal team, and they said your conditions are fine. And he was like, what? Your legal team? Oh, like I don't trust you, man. Like he got really serious, and it was pretty funny. That's funny, man. That's crazy. What a trip.
It was, there was a social media team, and I was part of their social media team, but one of the guys actually contacted you, didn't they, for a debate?
Oh, you're right. I didn't reach out to them. They came to me and said, hey, will you debate him? It wasn't like I was just looking for, to pick on Paul, or like, I'm going to show Paul like this. I'm going to be like this big debater and beat up Paul on the internet. Like, no, he came to me like, dude, let's set up a debate. And I said, great. We went back and forth for a long time. And then in the end, it was just like, I just wasted my time talking to you. And that guy paid people to be intermediaries too. So I'm like, how is he getting this money to have a team of people middlemaning his DMs on Instagram? And I look at the guy's pictures on social media, and he just looks like he's ripping bong loads all day.
No, I don't think he. I don't think he used to do stuff like that, but I don't think he does now. But yeah,
Yeah, it seems like the what I was going to say is I call it kind of street theater because it doesn't seem like it's about converting people who they're talking to. It's almost like they're looking for clips that they can harvest and then put together these anonymous for the voiceless videos, upload them on YouTube with dramatic music, selectively edit emotional clips, and then
yeah,
try to
yeah.
convert people with the videos.
Yeah, all the music it's selected specifically to, I think, to tug on the heartstrings. There's literally a library which you can only use those specific, songs.
Oh wow.
I can't really. I mean, to be honest, I only actually attended 2 cubes, and all my stuff was like social media based.
Yeah, yeah.
But I know that one of the newer albums from Linkin Park, One More Light, that was on there. That's the only one I can really remember.
Okay. Yeah, I found a picture. I'll pull up some pictures of the this activist group for the audience here.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually edited this picture you've just pulled up. This is what I edited the cows and the chickens on the screen. They weren't actually shown on the screen
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I
because
wonder
the
how many of the images are like that because, and you could with the glare and the
yeah
lighting.
with the glare the way it was in those pictures, you couldn't see the screens.
Man, that's crazy. That's wild. So, man, it's so funny. We interacted very briefly and in an anonymous way. We interacted anonymously through Anonymous for the Voiceless. How funny
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that? It all goes full
It's
circle. So this
Yeah, I
is
can
the great.
remember. I remember clicking on your page, and you actually followed my vegan page. You used to follow that as well.
I do follow a lot of the vegans. I like to see what they're doing, especially the activism stuff. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not like it's not like I'm a big farmer or something like that. I'm just a home. We got a little homestead and a little aspiring family farm. So, the things that the activists are doing, I want to know. I want to know what they're pushing towards.
yeah. Who have you got
You
your
know,
eye on at the minute then?
I've actually checked out from a lot of it. There was a period when I was trying to kind of engage with a lot of these people, trying to see if I can get Earthling Ed to debate.
Earthling and Ed won't debate. Yeah,
Yeah, I realized that none of these people. You see the street debaters, Earthling Ed, Joey Carbstrong, Paul Bashir,
yeah,
stuff like this. They will not actually debate me. They won't debate anybody who's prepared or who actually has an argument. They want to like spring it on unsuspecting herbs in the street who really have never
yeah,
heard
yeah.
these arguments before. It's kind of the shtick.
Well, I think what Paul wanted to do was he wanted to air on his platform, but he wanted to have footage shown to your viewers. He wanted the slaughterhouse porn to be shown
Yes.
to all your viewers. That was one of the terms.
That's what and I told him, dude, you can just like stream slaughterhouse porn on my channel on YouTube. It'll get me kicked off YouTube. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
I changed my mind and I was like, yeah, I don't care if he does this because he can stream it on his platform, but I'm going to stream it to my audience. And if he's going to put up something that's going to get me flagged, I'll just drag it off screen. So I was
yeah,
like, you know what? Fine. That's what I told him. I think I told my legal team that said it's okay. And I actually mean like my wife said it's okay. So
yeah, yeah.
he didn't like that. He took it a little bit seriously. And, I wish it would have happened.
Yeah, I
Also,
think it would have been good.
I was supposed to debate James Aspie. That was supposed
Oh,
to
really?
happen. Yeah,
Yeah,
he agreed to do it about
yeah.
five
When was
times.
this?
This was less than a year ago. It was post Corona years.
Yeah,
It was when he was like at the time he was somewhere
he was
doing
more
some.
chilled.
He was doing like a cryptocurrency scam.
Oh yeah, fucking hell.
Exactly. He was working on some big crypto thing with like some weird crew,
Fucking matey
and
boy that he was working with he was fucking so
yeah.
dodgy, man.
That guy was, oh man, I actually talked to somebody who knew them, and
Yeah,
yeah, that seemed like that was a very strange situation.
there was sort of like a what would you call it? Like an expose of it
By
was
that
like a
girl, the
that's it.
cinematographer girl. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So she was making a documentary, I guess, of their time or something, but she ended up fucking using it to expose them.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I liked her. She made like 4 videos, just
Yeah.
kind of basically said exactly what she experienced. And what was so good about that, I'm glad you brought that up, is it kind of exposed the narcissism that you see in like you seem like such a down to earth person. Like you seem like somebody who's really easy to talk to and get along with. It doesn't seem like you would feel at home around some of the types of personalities that become like vegan e-celebs. Do you think that's a fair characterization?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because like Earthling Ed and guys like this, there seems to be almost like a Christ complex, or like some of these people literally think that they're like saving the world. They
Yeah.
are God's gift to the animals, or evolution's gift to the animals, because most of them will claim that there is no God. So so they're yeah.
I feel like with Earthling Ed, I feel like out of like the big activists, I feel like he's the one that's almost been selected, and it's like, right, we're going to use this guy, and because he's so fucking likable, and I've met him 2 or 3 times, and he is a sound guy, he really is. But yeah, he's the amount of money he's made through veganism is fucking, you wouldn't believe it.
It's wild. No, I've seen a lot of it right now. I want to pull up an image of Earthling Ed so the audience can get an idea of, kind of who we're talking about here. Earthling Ed runs this nonprofit type group, Surge Activism calls it. And he uses like the George Soros model to kind of funnel the money through a nonprofit. And that is another thing that's really interesting about the vegan movement. How much money is flowing through these like nonprofits? I mean,
it's literally millions. Like it's literally millions. Like hundreds. Well, it would be over the years. It would be hundreds of millions. Like, and in a few short years.
I mean, to me, it's not surprising, because I've been kind of calling out the look at the Earthling Ed aesthetic right here. He's looking like a sultry young Steve Jobs.
Yeah,
he's like looking like Steve Jobs on acid in this picture. He's like Steve Jobs, but he feels like inside he feels like he's Jim Morrison. Earthling Eds. I mean, they brand this guy as basically vegan Jesus, and they try to give him this. You see his TED Talk screenshot where they have him in this pose where he's like his arms are out in a cross and stuff.
No. Was that a TED Talk, or was it when he was at the vegan camp out and he stood at the front of the crowd like with his arms spread like that? Because
maybe it was that.
Yeah, he apparently didn't like that, and I think the cameraman asked him to do that. They sort of kind of set him up, and he didn't like the image. He didn't like the image being used because of that, how it would be portrayed.
Yeah, because they really people love this guy. I mean, I think his arguments are awful. I think the way that he's set up, I mean, maybe he's a nice guy. I don't like the way that he's set up his activism scheme using this nonprofit, and now he owns a petting zoo that he calls an animal rescue.
The money's being funneled through fucking all sorts of different things, but I think out of the big activists, I mean, he's definitely the richest. Like, he's had the most money funneled into his interests, like,
Yeah, and so this money, I mean, I've talked a little bit about. I've pointed out that Plant-Based News, the guy who owns Plant-Based News, is a Saudi royal, right? Prince Khalid. Prince Khalid.
Oh, right, yeah. You're on about the guy that funds it, yeah.
Exactly.
It's Robbie and Cloud. Okay. Yeah, they've actually had him on his channel, on their channel. Sorry, they've actually had the donor sort of on there, and he hasn't been like sort of hidden. I don't know if they said that this is the guy that fucking sorted us out, but
no, they did. They said this is the owner. Yeah, and you could see on the articles on their website. Now they don't talk about this much on the channel, but they say in the descriptions of the videos and in the articles they say Plant-Based News, not CEO, co-owner of Plant-Based News.
Okay, yeah. Prince
Khalid bin Al-Walid bin Talal. No, they say His Royal Highness. That's what they say. His Royal Highness, Prince Khalid bin Al-Walid bin Talal. And this isn't just some random guy. I mean, his dad. I'm going to pull up an image here.
His dad's a billionaire. Yeah.
His dad is a multi-billionaire who is. I mean, he owns the Four Seasons with Bill Gates. Bill Gates and Prince Al-Walid bought Four Seasons for $3.8 billion near a market peak, feuded over matters large and small, and then made up inside a rare partnership of giants. So, I mean, this is the co-owner of Plant-Based News and a major benefactor of a lot of these vegan activists. his dad is like a trophy hunter. Like this dude is actually a full-on trophy hunter. These
You
people
couldn't
are
make
not
it up,
vegan.
really, could you? Yeah.
You could, I mean, he's like a Bond villain, and they used his yacht as a Bond villain's yacht in one of the 1970s Bond movies. I think it was Roger Moore may have been it. I forget which film it was.
Yeah.
Um, but they used his yacht as a Bond villain's yacht. I just think that's amazing. And this guy is funding a lot of the vegan movement. So when we say,
Yeah.
like you mentioned the donor, and I'm going back, I'm remembering we covered this on this channel, calling these vegans out, trying to get some of them to engage. Most of them wised up, like Klaus from Plant Based News, stopped engaging with us. They realized that they have nothing to gain from the truth being exposed.
Yeah.
But
for some reason, he doesn't. This, you know, the donor. He doesn't like being. He doesn't like people knowing, you know, where he's got his, you know, where he's putting his money into.
Isn't that weird? You think he would be proud of his activism,
Well, yeah,
saving the animals?
I did find it quite weird, yeah. But he's sort of, you know, he's funding AV, he's funding the Save movement, $1 million vegan.
Yep.
I think. Did you hear of like VFC, where they do like a vegan fried chicken? That's a new thing by Matt Clark, who he sort of founded Veganuary.
Okay.
Which was also funded by the rich prince.
Yeah, and that's this guy who's also lobbying at the. So here they are, Plant-Based News. They have to run puff pieces about him because he owns them. Prince Khalid to discuss sustainable food systems at major pre-summit events. So these are the people who are pushing for global dietary guidelines, and it's all GMO corn, soy, and wheat because they're the biggest investors in GMO foods, in fourth industrial revolution technology, the tracking, tracing systems, which we can't get too deep into because we're on YouTube right now. But these are the people that are invested in this stuff. These are the people that are the biggest investors in big pharmaceutical companies that are pushing this plant-based diets on us. These are Saudi princes. This dude's dad was accused of his ex-wife of human trafficking. So I'm sure that was there's no way that could be true because, he's a vegan activist and he's out there fighting for the animals. Yeah. I've got the article here. Where is this article? Now, who knows if this is true? Let's find
I mean, this is kind of one of the reasons why I'm not vegan, because it's sort of like you lift back the curtain, more into all these, into like the bigger picture, and you just see it for what it is, like, and where he's pumping all his money into, and
So, I mean, allegedly, who knows what's really true, but this Saudi princess outing the daddy of Prince Khalid here, who owns all these vegan companies, who runs all these vegan YouTube channels and runs a lot of the vegan activists. She's saying daddy, maybe she called him daddy, but that was her ex-husband. She says this dude's involved in all sorts of shady stuff, like buying Bangladeshi children.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me at all.
So how did you...
I think he puts money into DXE. Have you heard of DXE?
Yes, Wayne Shun. We've covered him. Yeah, and DXE is direct action everywhere. And what they do is major kind of illegal level, almost like home invasion type stuff on what they call factory farms, but they're sometimes small farms.
I mean, a lot of vegans, like myself included at the time, I found that shit so fucking cringy, man, watching it, especially when you see the one where they hold a funeral for a chicken.
Yes. Yes. From the supermarket, right? It was from the supermarket.
Yeah. But this is the thing as well, and this is what you'll see now from a lot of the newer activists, is the more fucking outrageous shit they do, the more attention they get and the more money that they generate. So a good example of this is Vegan Butte. You've seen this one, yeah?
Oh yeah, we've covered our friend Vegan Butte.
Oh right, yeah.
Vegan moose knuckle, yeah.
Yeah, so she's a good example because she's sort of taken it, she's taken it that step further, generating a shit ton of attention, and then she's made, she's generating a lot of money through the attention, like,
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
it's and like OnlyFans, for the animals.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Isaac Butterfield, sort of, the Australian comedian. Yeah, he
Yeah.
sort of called her out, and he had paid for her OnlyFans channel, so they didn't have to. He
Poor
went.
man.
He'd done like a review, I guess, and then she
He
had a
did that for
shit ton
vegan
of
gains too. He did it to
she
vegan gains as well.
yeah he done a review of her channel, and she generated I can't remember what she said it was now, like 16,000 I think Australian dollars in a couple of days, like,
Wow.
but I mean he's got
Wow.
quite a big platform, isn't he? So
Yeah.
but yeah, the
Well, that's literally like these people are literally doing human trafficking for the animals. But it's okay. It's voluntary, right? I'm selling my own body. The OnlyFans that's what that is. That's normalized, legalized human trafficking, and that's what the site is used for. Instagram gets used for a lot of that stuff as well. But it's it's a shame. I mean, for me, from my perspective, it's like I don't know. Like I got a daughter, and I can't imagine
yeah.
what would it's sad. Vegan Booty's got a daddy. She got a mom.
Yeah. I'm not sure where her parents stand with what she does. I'm not sure if her parents are vegan or no.
I highly doubt it. I mean, most of the vegans and like former vegans I've talked to, none of them have been able to convert their parents to veganism.
Yeah.
Did you, when you got into it, did you try and like kind of get your family to come along, or how'd that go with you?
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to my dad about it because my dad lives in London. He's the biggest meat eater I know, and he still is. And he's sort of at the time he'd give up drinking, so he sort of went dry, and he's still dry now. So his sort of reply was like, I've given up drinking. I don't want to give up me steak as well, like, So
Yeah.
so which is fair enough, it's his choice. So I never pestered him.
That's nice. You didn't,
My mum,
because some like Gary Yourofsky's like, I don't even talk to my mother. She's a psychopath. She refuses to go vegan.
yeah, no, nothing like that. I mean, at the end of the day, they're your parents. They brought you into the world. Like, I ain't gonna disown my parents because they're not gonna align with the same beliefs as me, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, my mum's pretty sound. She sort of like. My mum's a very good listener, and she didn't go vegan at straight away, but she sort of went like plant based. She had a few eggs here and there, like she still does now.
Mm-hmm.
But she does still eat primarily like plant based, but just she has eggs from where she works. They bring in like actual like proper free range eggs.
Nice.
Yeah.
The free range murder is actually the proper
free range murder, yeah.
proper nomenclature. But
yeah, chicken periods. So she's still on the chicken periods.
Chicken. That's one of the funniest ones to me. It's like, did you we hear words like that? Did you ever use those in your outreach and your activism?
Yeah.
Like chicken
No,
periods,
I did, yeah.
murder, and
yeah. I wasn't too keen. I mean, I wouldn't use the word murder it was sort of like an online thing, like, and especially with AV, you sort of like you had to use the word murder, and it had to be rape. Like, it didn't matter who you was offending or whatever. You use these words, and the approach changed over time, like,
Yeah, it's just amazing to me to think like the various modes of vegan activism. The use of the words like murder and rape, the crazy street theater where they're dumping fake blood on each other and getting naked in the streets and covering their tits with blood. And it's like, look at my titties for the animals. It's like, there's so many different modes of this. Yeah. But when you look at where the money's coming from, and this is what to me, it was always so obvious that this is all leading people towards ultra processed foods, factory made foods, and this consolidated system of food production and distribution that
Bill
doesn't
Gates
nourish
approved.
us. Bill Gates approved, right?
Yeah.
Lab grown meat and shit. And to me, just pointing out the fact that Prince Khalid is the biggest benefactor of these vegan activists out there. This guy, okay, he says he's vegan, maybe he's vegan. This dude's dad has palatial estates where he's got hundreds of Bentleys, gold-plated Mercedes and stuff. There's a video that we watched, a YouTube video of Prince Khalid. Actually, let me pull this up right now. Prince
Can you imagine if
Khalid.
this guy became ex-vegan?
Come on, and like funds like local regenerative farms or something.
Yeah. I mean, it'd
Dude,
be
this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't believe that this person is vegan. I can't see into people's hearts. I don't know. I don't know what people are really doing. But like,
yeah.
to me, it's just, I don't know. To me, it doesn't make sense that this dude.
I mean, he could do so much more good, like, you know, because you need a soil cycle that includes animals. That's another reason why it's like a thing that snapped in my head. Like all these things that you're sort of advocating for wouldn't make sense in the real world. If everyone was vegan, the world would be fucked. If it was primarily
Hmm.
plant-based,
Yeah, absolutely.
en masse, like,
Well, I mean, the first thing that I would point out is like, look at people's health, how it falls apart on a vegan diet. Now,
Yeah.
the current vegan activists, they can't admit that. You can see it. I mean, you see it in people's faces, you see it in their eyes, you see it in guys like James Aspey, you see the deterioration happening over time. It's sad
Yeah.
because it's unnecessary. But like, not just that though, but also the degradation of the soil. To me, that's a big one. It's like you're destroying soil quality by
Yeah.
promoting, soy and corn-based diets. This is spraying glyphosate everywhere. That's going to actually, autism rates around glyphosate fields are super high among children. You're destroying our guts. You're destroying the biome of the soil, and you need animal input to have organic farms. But these people don't
Yeah.
want organic farms because Monsanto is green, right? The Green New Deal is all about that.
Yeah.
Like this is the
Yeah.
lifestyle of the benefactor of veganism. This is his dad, right? So it's this dude's son. He's got diamond encrusted Mercedes Benz. Like this
Fucking
dude
hell. Yeah.
sold
Yeah.
he sold a yacht to Donald Trump, and that yacht
Yeah.
was used as a Bond villain's yacht.
I've
So
never actually seen this dude. I never knew who his dad was.
his dad is hardcore, man. He's a Saudi bouse. Check it out. There's this crazy video from the Saudi Life YouTube channel. I'm trying to find it where these
He's on
people.
there.
Yes.
You there, dude?
Oops. Yeah, sorry, we cut out for a second. I'm back, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, this video is crazy, man. I don't think you'll be able to hear it. I'll just run the video in the background. The weekend for Prince Khalid bin Talal. So he gets picked up in a helicopter. The help picks him up in a helicopter. And then look where they fly him out to. Look at all these, just in the middle of the desert. They got all these tents and little helipad out there. Oh, look, it's got, oh, daddy, I love it. Hold on, let me check my Instagram. Look at this guy. He's like a straight up Bond villain, dude. Look at his daughters. It's like Kim Kardashian ass daughters. Look at this. These are the people telling you to go green and eat vegan diets.
Yeah. So what did you say? He's friends with Bill Gates or something, is he?
Yeah, he owned the Four Seasons. They actually just sold the rest of his shares of the Four Seasons to Bill Gates. They co-owned it for like 10 years.
Yeah.
He's got his hands in everything, man. Like he actually, they no joke, they wrote articles calling this guy the dwarf tossing billionaire. He like literally would toss dwarfs for fun, they claim. Look at this. This is milk. This is raw camel milk. You see that? This is what
really?
the people that are funding this. This is daddy's money right here, going through Prince Khalid, his son, telling everyone to go vegan, funding all these vegan activists. This is how they live. They drink raw camel milk. Here, I just want to look at that. That's raw camel milk. They milk the camels out there. That's fresh raw camel milk. Yum, yum, yum.
Christ.
They want us. We're gonna go vegan though, right? We got to stop using cars because it's bad for the environment. We got to pay a carbon tax, and this is how they live. Look, he's got a dwarf. He's got his minstrels there too. Look at these people. Like, I wonder what they do with that dwarf.
What the dwarf is like his PA or something then, yeah?
I have no idea. Maybe it's just like for entertainment, like for the daughters to mock or something, I guess. Like we bring this dwarf out here. We let my daughter mock him. They enjoy very much to mock dwarf.
They're going to shoot that bird, are they?
I think they're going to shoot the dwarf. They're going to eat the dwarf. Teacher, this is how you would play most dangerous game. Most dangerous game. You take your slave, you bring them here, and you there. Yes. Okay, run, dwarf.
He looked like he was about to run the sprint, then, didn't he?
Oh man, this guy's lifestyle is just it's crazy. It's so decadent. So, anyways, like it's his son, this dude that is funding all this vegan stuff. That's who's funding it. To me, I can't get over this. It's amazing to me. So, anyways, sorry for that little sidetrack there. I had to show you that. I thought you would appreciate the lifestyle. Maybe Earthling Ed can go to one of those and they can drink oat milk.
I know that they sort of have like meetings. You know, I think they have to discuss, like, you know, I don't know, the next steps, I guess, of like where he's putting his, you know, how much he's given to all these orgs or whatever. I know that it's sort of like a round table thing, like, you know.
Right. Well, yeah, you got to justify the money. Like, hey, we need this much more. And it's like, okay, well, we've got to see how much you're benefiting the organization. Can we justify giving you another $1 million or no?
Because it was sort of brought up that the Save movement were getting 10 times the amount of what AV were getting, and these are people that are literally just stood outside of slaughterhouses holding up placards. So
How much were they getting?
I'm not sure of the figure, but I just know it was 10 times the amount of that AV was getting.
Wow.
So I mean,
And
it's a
AV
big.
was getting at least. I remember seeing the numbers that Paul, he gave himself a salary, and wasn't it like $200,000 a year?
I'm not sure what. I'm not sure on salaries.
Okay.
But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he's got 200,000, you know, Australian, 200,000 pounds, sort of like, you know, sat in reserves or whatever. So I mean, nobody really knows
I mean, you got
because
to pay staff.
yeah, I mean, there was 19 of us, 19 I think at one point, paid staff on the team, because you had you know, you had like the social media team, you had like a task force team. They had their own PA. Do you know what I mean? They had the guy that ran the shop, the online shop. They had like the IT guy. They had a separate graphic designer for stuff that, I mean, I could have done it for him really, and I ended up doing it when she left. But they had a separate.
No, their graphic design was atrocious. I mean, it's like I could do that stuff. It's just basic Photoshop.
Yeah, it
Like,
was just basic stuff, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had people there that were they would train the organizers. They would do like inductions and stuff like that. It's quite a small team, I guess, really. In regards to paid staff, but then they had sort of minions at the bottom who were, you know, they were out on the streets doing it for free, and that's where your hierarchy comes in, because you have the staff at the top being paid. You got you know, the founders at the top getting a big chunk, and then you've got all the minions at the bottom doing everything for fucking nothing. And the Italian
for the animals.
Oh, for the animals, yeah, for the animals.
Isn't it funny? You hear them say like for the animals, and I hear a lot of like cope in that for the animals. Like, to me, a lot of the times it's like their conscience is eating them, so they have to tell themselves this is for the animals. When you hear guys like you know, Joey Carbstrong and some of these very narcissistic, outgoing, very aggressive activists, and you could tell it's all about them. It's all about their hero complex, but they know it's about the animals.
Joey. I mean, Joey, I think near enough every time he's on TV, it's mentioned that he was a former gang member. He was in prison for fucking 6 hours. Do you know what I mean? He had a pump shotgun up his fucking arsehole. It's mentioned every time, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, every day he's got to talk about his past, but he's risen above that, man. He's reformed, and he's saving the animals. You know, his conscience is clean. He's got to save the animals. It really is a religion for, you know, you see, it's like they have the conversion story. And you know, they'll deny it. No, it's not a religion. It's just the truth. I believe it's a false religion is what it is.
I think there's a lot more with Joey than what people realize. I think, and it's something that I wasn't sure whether to bring up, but
we're there. Let's go for it.
I mean, domestic abuse. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I won't.
Well, his sister publicly said he's the scariest person I've ever met. His mom said he's a very stabby person. You know, I mean, a lot of this stuff is in public articles, at least what we know. So it wouldn't be outside of the public sphere. And people are not. It's sad. It's sad how we can latch on to these false causes and then puff ourselves up and think that we're somehow some righteous thing. Yeah, and I think what these people do is dangerous because it's not just it's destroying people's livelihood, right? They're working on behalf of the global elite to destroy family farms, but also they're wrecking people's health. Is this something that you experienced? Like, how soon after being vegan did you realize maybe it's kind of hard to be healthy as a vegan, or did that not come into play for you?
I'd say it's definitely probably after like the 2.5 year mark. I'd say that's where I started feeling it, and I'm like, "Fuck me, is this it now? This you know." I wasn't getting. I've got my own setup in the garage, so I sort of work out in there, and it was getting to a point where I just couldn't be fucking arsed with it. For one, I wasn't feeling as strong. The recovery was fucking shocking, and I kept getting the same injury in my back, and it just wouldn't recover. So in the end, you just sort of pack it up, and I guess that's what a lot of the athletes do, isn't it? Because they can't recover properly, so they end up, it just fucks their careers up. But yeah, and like the brain fog.
Ribbit.
Your brain.
So the brain fog, did that happen quickly, or was that after 2 years?
The brain fog was, I don't know, I'd say almost after a month or so you start getting a bit of brain fog, but
and you're not taking B12, because a lot of them, he did it wrong. That's always this thing, right? He did it wrong. He didn't take the right supplements. Were you supplementing B12 or anything?
Yeah, I had a B12 spray, which I used every now and again, but I mean, I didn't use it every day. I did use it every now and again. I had tablets and stuff as well, but I'm never keen. I've never been keen on taking tablets anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I would only really take a painkiller if I really had to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I'll try to avoid it. But then it's like, I've got these pills because I'm supplementing for a diet that lacks in this vitamin, which didn't feel right at all. Like, you know.
No, it's weird, man. And I'm like, I feel like a lot of people who come out of veganism too, they're like, they're so sick of the supplements because they've been taking all these they realize they've been taking tons of unnecessary supplements for a long time. I mean, I don't think all supplements are bad. Like, there are certain times when some people may need supplementation, even if they're not a vegan, right? And I got my shield points for Chalk right here. Shout out to chalk.com, the sponsor here. We don't get that big Prince Khalid bin Al-Walid bin Talal money, but we get that big Prince bin Chalk Wali Chalk.com money. So shout out to Chalk.com. You guys got to throw this one out there. You got 60% off. Use the coupon code BIG60, 60% off all adaptogens, best natural herbal supplements, cleanly sourced, highest quality stuff you can get out there. I'm a big fan of like the daily. I like the ashwagandha, the purified shilajit. These are super legit. They do have one that has B12 in it, which I think is really funny, but nobody who watches this channel needs B12. But the best natural adaptogens out there. Hit up chalk.com. While we're bashing on these chalk, see, like chocolate, right? With the look at that shirt.
Plug that in there, right when we're talking about vitamins.
Exactly, man. What's up, Chalk? Shout out to chalk.com. But these are not. We're talking about adaptogens here, not vitamins to keep you from dying because you're starving yourself. So hit up chalk.com, guys. But anyways, the supplements, like I need B12, I need iron, I need this and that. It's like, does it get exhausting, or did you not get too into the supplementation?
I think if you're going to try and do it properly, you're going to be there all fucking day. I don't know if you've seen Patrick Baboumian, one of his videos where he's chucking them down, fucking also. I know he's supposed to be a vegan bodybuilder, which he isn't at all.
Strongest man in the world, but not actually.
He was never the strongest man in the world. That was fucking load of shit. But
Yeah.
he's taking all these vitamins for like, a diet that lacks in D3 and vitamin fucking F, B12, vitamin A, K2, B6, and then you've got all the amino acids, carnitine, carnosine, taurine, creatine, DHA, hemine. There's fucking loads of it. It's a diet that lacks in that. So he was fucking chucking them back. He was. Literally looks like
that's his supplement stuff.
That's the one. Yeah. This takes more pills than my grandmother. Yeah.
Nutritional yeast, magnesium, zinc, glucosamine, calcium, multivitamin, nutritional yeast, B12, and that's just what he's showing you there. Who knows? And he's also chucking down all these powders and stuff. Where it's just like, dude, you could eat real food and not have to take all of these. Like, I mean, a lot of people use magnesium for where a lot of us are deficient in certain things, like zinc. Okay, I could see, especially if you're not eating meat, zinc and stuff like that. But if you get enough meat, you're getting enough zinc. Get enough meat, you're getting enough magnesium. If you don't need nutritional yeast, he's only doing that for B12.
Yeah.
And it's not even really bioavailable. And B12, what's crazy too? All those B12 supplements, they use cobalt that are mined by child slaves in Africa. So Prince Khalid doesn't mind that, but some vegans who are actually against child slavery might.
That's always one that was brought up as like an anti-vegan argument, and it was hard to once you see these things, you're like, you can't really ignore it. And the cobalt for the for phones and stuff like that, that was always brought up.
Yeah. So what do you think about some of the responses to these? It seems like they're not, I don't know, I haven't seen really good arguments against like just pointing out the fact that you're going to be deficient in zinc, B12, heme, iron, carnosine, taurine, creatine. I mean, a lot of these are associated with like depression and anxiety and brain fog too, like lack of carnitine, lack of creatine will give you brain fog, and people take them as nootropics. Yeah. So like,
it's literally going to fuck you up.
What did you think? Did it bother you? Like, I don't know if I have really a good response to this, or did you have like a go-to? Here's what I say when people talk about nutrient deficiencies.
I think because most vegans, or if not, a lot of vegans aren't nutritionists. You sort of you cherry pick the information, don't you? And then they're not all hench herbivore. Yeah, and they're not all hench herbivore. Vegan nutritionist hench herbivore. I think he's another one, man. He's fucking dodgy, hench herbivore. and he's. I mean, I've met hench herbivore, Paul. He's. Mm-hmm. And he comes across as a nice guy, but I just feel there's a lot more. I feel like he's very dishonest. Mm. I'm not sure if he's very open about his steroid use.
I heard him mention it one time when he said he used to take like 10 times the physiological dose of. Yeah. But I don't know if he says he was still. He said he used to. I think what Tommy and I talked about when he was on the stream was that like. He said hench and like he'll act real nice for a second, but really he said the vibe he got from it was he just aspiring celebrity. Don't talk to me unless I can get something from you.
Yeah. Kind of that's how it comes across. Yeah, definitely.
That's true across all like a lot of the internet too. Like a lot of people are just kind of want to be celebs and stuff.
I remember him at the vegan camp out. And he's sort of, he's got his like his wife beater on and his army trackies, and he's fucking walking around like, and compared to fucking all the vegans there, he looks fucking huge, like and he loves it because he's in this niche movement where he was a bodybuilder, now he's a vegan bodybuilder, and people love it because they think they look at him and he's they're like he's got these gains and he's vegan, but. He fucking ate meat for fuck knows how long. I don't know how old he is. He must be in his. I mean, he looks a lot older than what he is for sure. He's got to be knocking on 50. I would have said.
Yeah, he didn't build that muscle on a vegan diet. Not that. I mean, I deal with a lot of people who are coming out of veganism, like former vegans who are just trying to get their health in line, get their digestion right, get some gains maybe, and it's crazy how quickly people improve health wise and then gains wise, injuries and stuff like that when they leave veganism.
Yeah.
Just thinking about what you said there, yeah, it's like this is something that I think is prominent in the vegan movement, especially the vegan e-celeb movement. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the vegan movement. We're talking about the vegan e-celeb movement because the real vegan movement is Bill Gates and the UN. The real vegan movement is Klaus Schwab's World Economic Forum and plant-based kibble rations for you in your Smart City Coon Pod. That's the real vegan movement, right? The real vegan movement is you get your kibble rations if you act like a good global citizen. It'll jump through the hoops and put the things in your body that the good government tells you through the TV that Jeffrey Epstein's friends think that you should shoot up into your kids' veins. Then you get your kibble rations. That's the real vegan movement. When we talk about the vegan movement, though, on YouTube, a lot of these people, like, if you're a vegan bodybuilder, you can be very low level physique that nobody would care about if you weren't a vegan. Then all of a sudden you're the vegan fitness channel. Look at me. I can bench 225 and I'm vegan. It's like,
he's not that. Well, going back to Hench Herbal, I mean, he's really not that strong. You think that he's been doing it for years now, and especially since he's been vegan. And if you actually go back to his videos, even like 2 years ago, he's losing weight. It's just it's happening slowly. He's losing weight. Same with Patrick Babimian.
Yeah,
he was an absolute fucking monster, and he's just slowly deteriorating. His arms have got so much smaller. He's got so much smaller. I think he even came out of the competitions that he was doing. I mean, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure he came out of these things because of an injury. I could be getting him mixed up with another athlete though, but still, I mean, the same point remains, like,
Yeah, you see this a lot. Injuries. I mean, John Venus, who's not a vegan anymore. Tim Sheaf, like a lot of these really respectable, like the guys that all the vegans looked up to, they've all come on the channel and like talked to us. Like they've talked to me and they're cool. Like a lot of the vegans that I enjoyed, the ones that I would have thought maybe wouldn't fit in with this like climb up the ladder of e-stardom and want to be a cool vegan e-celeb, people have left it. And shout out to like Tim Sheaf. Even lately, John Venus has been a lot more open and outgoing about like what he's doing, and he's been very honest lately as well. So like these guys that the vegans used to say, "Oh, look at that guy, he's the great vegan bodybuilder, John Venus." These people aren't vegan anymore. They know that they didn't perform as well. They know that it's not as good, and they're smart enough, and they care about life enough, and they care about honesty enough to leave it. But I think people get blinded by like the e-stardom and stuff. Like Earthling Ed can never go ex-vegan. He can never do it.
Yeah. I mean, you do get, I mean, I just had a meme page really and it got to like, I don't know, 33,000 followers, Vegan Vizard.
Dude. Yeah. I remember you.
Yeah. So yeah, I made a shit.
You used to troll me. You used to try to troll me.
Did I can't remember.
On YouTube, you did, right? Sometimes, maybe a few years back, maybe not. I remember.
I don't recall. Yeah, it's not really something I wouldn't go onto people's pages. I might mention them in a story or something like that. Okay. And then they'd be up in the DMs, but I wouldn't. It wasn't something I would really go and do, like,
Okay, I thought there was a vegan visitor that trolled me, not in like a mean or like not like it's all good. I thought that I recognized that one, but maybe I just followed you because
you followed the account, but yeah, I disabled it. Disabled the account beginning of the year when I realized that I was never
really vegan.
Well, that's what they say, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm no longer I was never vegan. I done it wrong. It's funny actually because I never announced it online. My girlfriend put a picture of me in a tomahawk steak on Facebook, and then she had tagged me. And I don't really add a lot of things to Facebook. I've got a Facebook account, but I don't update my status or anything very often. And she had tagged me in it, and somebody, I don't know who it was, but somebody had found it, and they sort of like leaked it, and it's like, oh, this is the vegan Vizard who's no longer vegan, and it's like, fucking hell, here we go now.
And then what happened?
They were coming on to her. I mean, it was fucking embarrassing for them. I felt embarrassed for them
Yeah.
because they were going onto my girlfriend's Facebook page, and bearing in mind she's absolutely fucking sound. But you imagine if it was like a first date. Imagine if we went on a date and she'd taken this picture of me eating a tomahawk steak, and then they had all these fucking vegans flooding in, and
What
you
are
know
you
what I mean?
doing?
Oh, it's fucking. It's just cringe. It's so fucking cringe.
You feel
But
bad for him?
she's absolutely fucking sound. I mean, she's not really like she's got Instagram and Facebook and stuff, but she's not really present online. She's totally out of the loop with this, the whole activism community and all the drama that goes on,
Yeah. And by activism, you mean people shit posting online and calling people
shit posts online, yeah. And I mean, I've done a lot of that. I was sort of almost like what's he called, Jackson.
I talked with that guy.
Because he come out as no, I'm thinking. I was sort of like the.
Wait, he did? What was that guy's name again? He was friends with Drew. We talked to him on a stream before. Jackson.
Yeah.
He wanted to debate me. He made videos like saying that I was an idiot and stuff. Vegan, plantriotic.
Oh no, I'm talking about it was like Wacko Jacko or Jacko Wacko Vegano.
Yeah, that guy was awesome. Yeah. I like
He's
him.
fucking sound. It was sort of I was almost compared to him. Like he would do videos, I would make memes. It was sort of like going sort of like.
You're like the only vegans that actually had a sense of humor in the whole world.
Yeah, just trying to have a bit of a sense of humor, and you end up sort of making things to you might cross the line a little bit, and then you post it and it gets fucking shared everywhere,
Yeah.
I wasn't very popular with I don't know if you keep an eye on them, but like the intersectional vegans.
Is there any names that I would know? Maybe.
Like Cranky Vegan. Elliot Gold.
No, I'm gonna have to look them up. That sounds hilarious. Intersectional vegan. So they're like, trans rights or animal rights, basically.
All of that, yeah. It's fucking unbelievable. And
I'm a trans vegan, but they probably wouldn't recognize me.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't know who coined that term. I thought it was something that I'd sort of come up with it in my head, but maybe I heard it from you or somewhere else. But yeah, trans vegan. I'd done a post on
Nice.
my current Instagram channel saying that I'm trans vegan.
I don't know if I thought I came up with it. It's an obvious one, right? Like
yeah. No,
I thought I came up with it a couple years ago, but I'm sure other people were. There were other posts and stuff. I'm sure.
But yeah, I done a trans vegan post, and I think because you got mentioned in it because somebody had compared
trans vegan rights.
I can't remember what it was, but you replied to it anyway. But
nice.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that one.
Intersectional vegans and we were talking about your girlfriend and how they mobbed you and then
yeah, and I had threats against so I ended up getting threats against me and my family, and this is where it all came out then, and then everyone's fucking comes flooding in, sending me all these abusive messages, which I don't mind people sending me messages. I mean, I can take it, it's fine, but when they start sort of shit posting about my son,
Yeah, that's taking it way too far, man. I mean, talking about your family and stuff. I mean, what kind of these people, they're so, I don't know, man. Like, I've dealt with these types a lot. Half the people, for a long time, half the people who watch my channel, and it probably still is that way. I'm not saying I'm a very likable person, but half the people that watched my channel for a long period of time were just watched it because they hated me, and they're just like trying to, I don't know, figure out how to debunk what I was saying.
Well, they'll try and
much in a long time, but
they'll probably try and get a snippet of something you said and then twist it and fucking turn it. And
I know. I'll give them the snippets too. I'll give them I don't mind giving them those snippets. You can call me a bigot all you want. I'll wear the bigot badge.
The bigot badge.
Wear that bigot badge proudly on my sleeve. But so all right. So you decided at some point, like, I'm done with this. What was the last straw? I mean, you mentioned a lot of things that always irked you, like the poor arguments, the obvious funding issues with, Saudi princess and Bill Gates benefiting so much from activism. What was the last straw for you?
Fucking hell. I think it was when I learned. I was craving bone marrow. Out of all things, I was craving bone marrow. And I am sort of one where, if my body's telling me something, then I'll want to listen to it. I want to, because I'm obviously craving it for a reason. Maybe there's a vitamin, some sort of thing that I'm lacking. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'd say the final sort of thing was learning about ways in which like animals are killed for cruelty-free foods. So they'll go out and fucking shoot animals. They'll trap animals. They'll poison animals, gas animals. They'll fucking drown them. You got ratting and hogging. Learning more about that for plant-based foods.
Yeah.
That was a fucking eye-opener.
Yeah, we did a few streams with our friend Garland Farms talking about that stuff, like the crop protection industry. I mean, these are arguments that are like, I don't know how vegans can reconcile with this. What I noticed is in debates, and none of them will debate me anymore. None of them will engage. Hey, prominent vegans out there, any one of you, a hench herbivore, Joey Carbslong, Paul Bashir, and any one of you, Freely the Banana Girl, any one of you are all welcome. I'd love to have a public debate. Even if you're a smaller channel or something, that's fine too. Not just the big names. We can have a debate. You're always welcome to come on. It'd be great. But I noticed they just started going, crop death though, like trying to mock the argument as if like, oh, I've already debunked that. It's like, what?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's the intention, or like, what?
Yeah. I mean, I've been there myself, because it was one thing, especially running the AV social media account. So that's one thing that would come up in the comments, and then we have a sort of almost like a copy and paste thing that you'd have for a crop deaths argument, and we'd have to just sort of like edit it into like our own words, but saying the same sort of thing.
Yep.
But I mean, crop deaths, that's a fucking big argument, and there's more to it than just a combine harvester rolling over a fucking field,
Yeah.
You've also got because
pigeons getting hunted, like dudes go out with rifles just to kill small animals, gophers, voles, pigeons. These things get slaughtered en masse to protect your corn and your soy and your wheat. Yeah,
I don't think enough vegans look into it properly. Like they just look at one thing. So like a combine harvester harvesting crops, it tends to be just that one thing where there's such a big it's such a bigger issue, You've also another thing as well is because veganism is used as an environmental argument, and then you've got products like, I don't know if you've seen the plant-based bacon.
No.
It literally it looks like plasticine. And then you've got
I'm picturing just a strip of rubber,
It literally looks disgusting. But I mean, I ended up sort of being against these things as I was vegan. I'm like, fuck, this is where it's headed. And you've got the ingredients in it is, there might be like, I mean, don't quote me on this, like say 15 to 20 ingredients or whatever it is. And then you've got these ingredients being shipped from the fucking Netherlands, Australia, China, Belgium, fucking Japan, Spain, Israel, fucking all over the place, USA. To name a few. I mean, they were fucking all over the place. Because I work in the food production industry, and I had the specifications through for a vegan product, and reading through that, I mean, honestly, it's like the ingredients alone, and then you look at where it's imported from anyway, and it blows the fucking environmental argument out of the water,
Yeah, well, and then when you're familiar with the food industry and stuff, you realize that they're not required to put everything on the label. Now, there are certain things, it's like if it's under a certain percentage, you don't have to claim it, or you can have certain things where it's just natural flavoring. You can call it natural flavoring, and that can be anything from like beaver anal glands for vanilla flavor.
That's a weird one.
Like how are you getting those? Yeah.
There was
So
actually a post that I never did. It was going to be a post for AV about that, but yeah, I never ended up doing it.
it was like the end of the line. So yeah, you realize a lot of the arguments were poor, and the global agenda seemed obvious. Or, I mean, what do you think about that? Because you seem like someone, just from looking at your Instagram, and we don't have to, we are on YouTube, so we got to always be careful. You guys remember, if you're not already following me on Rockfin, make sure to go follow for free on Rockfin. If you want to upgrade to a subscription for the premium content over there, that's how we fund the operation here, right? That's how we fund what we do here. We also got supporters like our sponsor Chalk. Hit up chalk.com, get the highest quality natural adaptogens. I really like the daily Tongkat Ali, the purified Shilajit, the ashwagandha. Jessica loves using the ashwagandha at night too to sleep better. So chalk.com and use code BIG60. Use code BIG60 and you get 60% off store wide. I don't know how long they're going to let us run with that, but Chalk is an awesome company. The guys who own it are based. They support the work we do here. They understand. They know that we are bigots. And that's why we got that code BIG60. So shout out to Chalk. That's how we keep rolling here. That's how we keep going. But
do you know, I used to get sent free stuff with on my vegan page. I used to link up with companies, and there's a few of them that would actually pull out because they would find out that you're a bigot, like, you know.
Yeah.
So I forget what they're called now. They send you like a the vegan kind was one of them. So they'd send you like a little subscription box thing of all these all these vegan products, but they ended up they sort of cut ties and they stopped my subscription. All I'd have to do was sort of post a story about it, and then you get the stuff for free. A lot of the companies would do that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What did they find out? Like, you said some naughty word on a post or something? Like, what did you do?
I don't know. It's usually, I mean, I've been called a fucking everything under the sun, all the ists, and isms and that.
Yeah.
And it would be over, I might be fucking racist because, I don't know.
You want to kiss a black dude? No, I'm just kidding.
It could be. I can't really think of an example. But these intersectional vegans were like, they were on the sidelines, and it's like you're watching a game of football and they've gone offside, and the fucking intersectional vegans will flag you up, like, and then they'll share it on all their stories, and then eventually, they might have even found out that that I'm working with a vegan company, and then they'll be messaging them, oh, he's a fucking bigot, and he's a racist, he's a fucking homophobe, or whatever it is, like, I get called transphobic a lot because you're just pointing out simple fucking biology, like, but that's transphobic in today's world.
For sure.
You've got the fucking Brit Awards making it they're taking away the gender.
Oh really? Like, there's not gonna be like best actor and best actress. I was wondering when they would do that. Like, I want to win best actress. I'm a woman now, and now whatever, like Harvey Keitel is going to be best actress.
yeah, but they just pander to the bullshit, like, So I mean, you call it out, and then it's you branded a fucking transphobe, whatever, like,
Yeah. Well, there you go, guys. So transphobe confirmed. Transphobe bigot confirmed. No, I'm just kidding.
So somebody wrote on you see the comic I made earlier on. Somebody commented on it saying he put something like, "Whoa, this is the biggest load of shit." And I clicked on his thing. He had his fucking pronouns in his bio, so I just commented back saying, "Are you talking about the pronouns in your bio?" And then he called me a sexist.
You're
wow. I don't know. They just pull it out. They pull it out of nowhere. Oh, it is a fucking ist and ism, like,
Pull it out of their gender neutral holes. Yeah, I had somebody like try to talk trash. I had as a joke, like, well, it's not. I do have 7 honorary PhDs, and you could on my Twitter, it's Tristan Haggard, PhD, 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 PhD. My 7 honorary doctorates that I gave myself, and this person was like, I bet you don't really have 7 honorary doctorates. I bet you're not really a doctor. And I was like, well, how did I diagnose that you would have pronouns
Yeah.
in your profile? Because I was like, I gave myself another honorary PhD just for
Yeah.
that. So now I got 8 PhDs. Dude, we got some tips. Let me read these tips over there on Rockfin. You guys who are
Oh,
on
you getting
Rockfin, thank you.
tips?
We're getting some tips on Rockfin. You guys, ELC, big old nice tip. He actually tipped $20, dude. Thank you, ELC. Big supporter from ELC says Guy Fawkes, the face of AstroTurf controlled op since 2006. Sounds about right. Sounds about right to me.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, remember, I don't know, the whole anonymous hacker group. It's sus to me. Like, they always pop up, anonymous, the
Yeah.
hacker group. Like they use them as this cutout to kind of do whatever they
Yeah.
want.
It's like
I think
it's
that's what he's
edgy.
referring to. Yeah,
A
Gretchen
lot of
Wilk.
the.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. Yeah, you can.
No, go ahead, man. I want to hear it.
I was going to say a lot of the messages that you get, especially in the message requests on the AV page, was they're sort of like people. Some of them are quite funny. So, as an example, you'll have like a guy. That there's a lot of guys that they obviously didn't trust their girlfriends or their wives or whatever. So this like, can you hack their phones? So I'm sure that she's having an affair, or it's like some dude in fucking Israel or something, and he's under threat. Him and his family under threat. Can you send me $2,000? Like urgently. Can you hack the fucking banks and send me some money? Like this messages like that.
Do you think they're trolling, or they actually think that you can be?
I think
like,
a lot of them are. They seem genuine, like or like hi anonymous. They're speaking in what they think is the hacker group, like.
It's like confessional, like they're like confessing to the anonymous hacker group. They're like,
That's literally what it feels like a little confession.
so weird.
Like it.
That's hilarious, man. Did you ever respond to them like, yeah, give me your social security number. I'll send. Give me your crypto wallet address and your 12-word key for your crypto wallet, and I'll get it for you.
I really wanted to, but yeah.
That's so funny.
You get a detention if you do shit like that.
Well, that makes me think. I wonder think of how easy it is to use a cutout group like that, like anonymous, and it's kind of ubiquitous throughout the I don't know, kind of surface level conspiracy hacker world. It's really easy to kind of honeypot people with that kind of stuff. Like, you contact someone's like, hey, I'm with Anonymous and I need you to do this.
Yeah.
Show up at this FBI building and like pick up this package or something stupid. It's like some retard's like, like, I'm going to save the world with the hacker group.
There's people like that as well, aren't there? Somebody somewhere would have done that.
I wonder how many people have been entrapped by like intelligence agencies with those stupid hacker groups. Anonymous. Gretchen Wilkinson tips $10. It says, it makes me happy to hear about this disaster. It justifies my own skepticism. This world is amazingly messed up. Do you think people should be skeptical of the vegan movement? What's your assessment now? I mean, I think you kind of made it clear, but let me get your. In the beginning, obviously, you thought veganism was true, or you wouldn't have been a vegan. What is your assessment now? My
assessment now is I feel like there's like a theater going on. You've got all these minions, screaming, go vegan, all the rest of it. And then you've got these puppeteers at the top controlling the entire movement, funneling a shit ton of fucking money to push an agenda on the world, because it's a global thing, like, I don't know. Once you see through it all, you kind of just snap out of it, I suppose, don't you? I don't know. And just obviously the nutrient deficiencies and stuff. Fucking shitting 12 times a day is never good. But I absolutely.
It's called IBS. That's a disorder. It's called IBS.
Literally, it comes as you just think it's normal, don't you? But
it's crazy. It's so sad, and so many people have said the same exact thing. I thought it was good that I was pooping so much, and and then they realize, wow, I can go one time a day, and I don't have to be farting all day. And I don't have to take all these freaking vitamin pills just to keep myself alive if I just eat meat regularly. Wow. Yeah. So exactly what your grandma knew,
Oh, yeah, they knew best, yeah. But I never became one of these fucking raw vegan, align your spirituality with the fucking universe and shove a chakra fucking up your ass or whatever, or shove a crystal up your ass. Align your chakras in it. That's it.
Yeah.
I never made my dog go vegan either.
What's your problem, man? You're never really vegan. If you didn't force veganism on the rest of the animal kingdom, then you didn't force it on dogs, and you're not vegan.
But there's a lot of vegans out there that, you know, they're feeding the fucking cats this fucking vegan gunk, like, you know, and it's, to me, it's a fucking science experiment.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's going to end very well.
I think with people too. I mean, it's not. We talk about the Pottinger's cats experiments, where, you know, cats that were fed just pasteurized milk and cooked meat, as opposed to raw meat and unpasteurized milk, weren't getting enough of many nutrients. One of them that we know about now is taurine, and they would die. And after like 3 generations, they were sterile. Now, I'm not saying everybody, like humans, we don't need to eat raw meat, but, you know, raw milk is an amazing food, and we shouldn't be pasteurizing our milk. But it just shows you that improper nutrition throughout different species of animals is going to give you sterility, infertility, and early death and deterioration. And with humans, if we don't eat the right foods or get enough certain nutrients, we deteriorate.
Yeah.
What do you think about like the vegan deterioration stuff and those channels? Did you ever pay much attention to those things, or did you have to block it out?
No,
did you block it out? Would you get mad? Like, how would you feel about those when you watched it? You were like,
no, I mean,
hardcore vegan.
I mean, you're sort of watching it. It's there in front of your eyes, like, because it's that fucking weird fucker in it. Is it Spherage or Spheria? I don't know.
If you're a vegan, you're mentally ill.
Yeah, he's fucking, he ain't wired up right. He's tapped in the head. He is.
That guy, yeah. I don't think he recovered from his veganism fully.
Nah, I think
went the other direction.
It's almost like his mum tried to fucking coat anger him out, but didn't fucking quite, you know. Didn't quite.
Savage. Yeah. That guy's got some. I don't know what he's doing lately, but every time I take a peek over the last year, it's been getting weirder and weirder.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
But yeah, the videos he's made is I did watch them all, and I remember he put my I don't know if you know the vegan activist Chris Hines.
No.
But I remember him putting Chris in there, and I'm like, what the fuck did he put Chris in there for? Because he actually looked pretty decent, to be quite fair. But yeah, I was just, and then he was, I just remember him laughing about it, because he's like, what the fuck am I in there? What have I done? But definitely not good over the long term, as you can see, because they're literally, you know, some of them are fucking stick thin, aren't they?
You know, when you saw this and like the activists that you would see in real life, would it shock you, like when you go to these gatherings and stuff, and like kind of look at the average level of health and energy, and just, you know, kind of the vibe that some of these vegans have, you know, like just would you feel that when you went to these gatherings? Because it's obvious from the outside, but I think when we're in it, you know, maybe harder to see. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the friends I made, because obviously, you know, as a human, you pick your friends, and a lot of them were absolutely sound, like, you know. Yeah. I mean, there was very few of my friends in particular that had issues, but a lot of the vegans in the community have a lot of fucking issues, like, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember being at the Meet the Victims action up in Lincoln in the UK. It was the first Meet the Victims that was organised here.
Can you just give a quick description of what they did and like what the thing is? Meet the Victims.
Yeah, so Meet the Victims is it's a sit-in protest in a factory farm, or I mean, this was like a family-run farm, really, with pigs. So you basically, I mean, you walk in on their property, and then you basically just you stand or sit. It's a sit-in, so you can almost lock yourself in the farm, and then you don't sort of leave until it's kind of like aired on TV, or it gains some kind of attention, like, you know, because everybody's live streaming inside. There was fucking riot police there in the end, and it was fucking mental, really, thinking back at it now. We were there because I think we got into the farm around noon, and we were there. I don't think we left until about 7 o'clock-ish. I think it was about in between 7 and 8 hours we was in there, something like that. It was dark when we come out, and then you had fucking Earthling Ed and Joey Carbstrom like out on the sidelines, like they were being fucking interviewed by whoever it was, Sky News or whoever it was. It was, you know, it was
I made a video response to the video that they put out. Actually, I edited a video.
Yeah,
3 years ago it must have been. I think it was 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it probably was about that. It was
the girl with the blue hair was there. She was like crying and staring at her phone, and and they had dogs, and they're like, "Oh, look at these poor dogs! These dogs are victims." And the dogs are barking at Earthling Ed, and because he's an intruder, and he's literally terrorizing this people's home, and these dogs are barking. He's like, "Oh, they're victims as well. Look at these poor dogs," and they just want to kill him. The dogs are just trying to go bite him.
Yeah, it was kind of like a so we were there essentially to share footage of the pigs, and then I'm guessing it was Earthling Ed wandered off into a bit where it used to be a farm but it had been knocked down or something, and then there was like a sort of like a puppy farm in behind. So yeah, that's
he trespassed on that, and he gave this monologue. I remember like making the video critique of this, and his monologue is just like, "Oh, in the future it will all look like this. All these farms, they'll just be empty shacks like this."
Yeah, and that's the one. Yeah.
Describing this dystopian, basically Holodomor, where all of the farmers are genocided, removed from the land so that people can't feed themselves. And I'm just thinking, this person, he thinks he's so sweet and nice. All I see is just demonic fervor for the what I see is Bolshevik tactics of removing people from the land. What I see is the Ukraine and the Holodomor, and these people see animal rights, and I'm just like, this is so dangerous. I can't believe that.
No, I know what you mean. I mean, looking back at it now as well, and I got to be honest, I mean, because the whole factory farming thing, I don't think that sort of goes away, because I don't agree with factory farming. Yeah. I agree that the world, the world needs to eat meat, and it needs animal foods, but it's these practices that are still happening is still a sort of cause for concern. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it now, but
yeah, for sure. I mean, we have animals. We don't I don't support huge industrial agriculture. I don't support any of this nonsense. What I'm into is producing our own food locally and supporting local ranchers. So I always tell people, go to if you live in the US, eatwild.com, right?
Yeah.
Purchase local foods from local producers and support them, because they're being put out of business by these same people that are funding the vegan movement. I agree, but it's like these people who make so-called factory farms the biggest issue. You ask them, how do you define a factory farm? And it's very arbitrary. And like you said, you went to a family farm and they called it a factory farm, but you and your conscience knew that was a small family farm. And then they try to act like you remember when the dead piglets, I'm remembering the video now, there were dead piglets. Yeah. And what happens is sows, when they freak out, they will jump up and run in circles because there's somebody new there. They start screaming. This is what they do when they eat too. So they're not screaming out of pain. That's just what pigs do. They're gonna go feed a pig. They're like, we've got 2 hogs out there. They're great. They're cool. But they'll trample their young, and some of them are just bad moms, and they'll just lay on top of they'll crush a whole. And what happened was the activists broke in, switched the lights on. Joey Carbstrom and Gelfling Ed walk in there, and the pigs start freaking out, and they trample the piglets, and then they're like, "Look, these dead piglets, they're in here with their dead young. They must be mourning their dead." And no, you just got them killed, you freaking idiot.
Yeah, right. So what happened was, because that actually didn't happen.
Okay.
And that is one of the things that, I mean, even now, I mean, it's going to sound like I'm defending the farmer, but
no, go for it.
I was one of the first ones in that shed, and the lights were already on anyway. Mm-hmm. And we sort of walked in. The pigs they almost act, it was almost like their souls had left their body. They didn't really pay attention to us walking in. But that is what was said
because they had a spiritual experience, because Earthling Ed was there, so they're just they ascended into pig heaven. They're like, the vegan savior Earthling Ed is here.
Yeah, that was what was said on the media, but I mean, I got to be honest, that it wasn't like that at all.
As
But
somebody who has pigs, that's what I would assume happened.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
yeah.
and
No,
they were.
I'll just I've got to be honest with it. But yeah,
Yeah,
that didn't happen. And the pig in question was sort of like, because you walk, there was, I think it was like 3 barns almost sort of connected to each other, and it was, I think that pig in it, what you're talking about was in the second barn.
okay.
There's also a pig that, I mean, it wasn't ever, it wasn't like people were recording it or anything like that, but there was a pig trapped under. It's pretty savage, man. There was a pig
Yeah,
trapped under the grate, and the sow was like shitting through this grate, and the
yeah.
pig was, I don't know how the fuck it got under there, but it was trapped.
Because it
So
was trying to scramble, because what I would assume is trying to scramble because there's new people around. Like they're not used to certain people.
I mean, maybe, yeah, I'm not sure, but it was almost as if this pig had been there for a while and it was just being
Okay.
shit on. So I managed to pull the pig out, but then I think so what happened then? I had put it back into a pen,
Yeah.
which then they were saying, people were picking them up and put them in different pens. But I mean, that's the only sort of,
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Like carry it outside and steal the pig or something? Yeah.
But I think that there was a time where people wanted to take the pigs and stuff. But I mean,
Where?
what do you do? I mean,
Where are you gonna take it?
it's a
What,
bit
what,
of
what about when what are they gonna do when it weighs 200 pounds in 7 months?
it's a bit of a shit one, but yeah, I don't know. It's a fucking weird experience, man. I'll never forget it. And there was you ended up with literally riot police came in vans, and they've sort of like stormed the area, and then they were coming in with like facial recognition cameras. So of course we're all like sort of masked up when they would come in, and then they're like, it's like almost like we'd taken the pigs hostage, and then they're asking for like they're like, what's your what do you call it, what is it that you want us to do, like, and it's sort of like, want it to be aired on the TV sort of thing. That was the whole idea. Then you leave. So it's like, they're sort of, they'll come in every now and again. It's like, if you don't leave in the next hour, everyone's going to be arrested. and you've got to, when you're there, you're supposed to sort of stand your ground, I suppose, if you like, and then just, fuck me, man.
You're like, we demand that you put Earthling Ed on national TV. We want Earthling Ed on the BBC or something. Like what? And then
well, I mean, Ed and Joey would be the ones that would get interviewed, I guess, wouldn't it? So then they would get fucking, they would get more fame, and they'd be dubbed as like the fucking heroes of the day and that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, there's a lot of these meet the victim things that happen. They almost run like a fucking military operation. Like, even like the build up, and you donate money to the person that's organizing it. You donate money into it. Everybody donates money, so then they can buy the equipment. Like, because you wear those shirts, the mask and the hazmat suits and stuff, and the shoe covers. So I think it wasn't very much. It was like 20 pounds.
I wonder who wrote the script. Like, who's designing the costumes and doing all this?
Oh, that's the Australian Leah. I don't know how the fuck you pronounce the surname. It's like Dollinger or something, or Dollinger.
Okay.
But I mean, that's another dodgy one, man. I think she's getting a lot of donations for this. I mean, it's become an organization in itself now.
So they get donations from guys like the donor, which is Prince Khalid, right?
I'm not sure if he's funding this specific one.
Okay.
He might have sent them a donation, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm just making a speculation, like, no.
But like, say for AV, it's just like you talked about the structure there. They get donations. They're funded. They get a lot of money every year. It's not really disclosed to the people at the lower levels, of course, but then they're running a shop online to make money with as well. Which I'm not sure how successful it is or how many T-shirts they're selling. It seems like there's a lot. Like, they're getting money from an outside donor, and then where's this money going from their stores and stuff like that?
Yeah,
like
well,
AV, for instance.
they're essentially they're businesses. I mean, they're making monetary fucking gains from from animal exploitation, if you like.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So they're literally businesses. But I think that's what this Meet the Victims. I feel like that's another one now that's become a business. She's now generating an income from this business, and it's only getting bigger because they're happening all over the fucking world, and they live stream it from all these farms. And but yeah, she's sort of like, you know, again, it's a hierarchy. She's the one at the top. I don't know if it's her and somebody else or how it works. So I don't know enough about it really, but I do know now. It's another funny one. The guys that organised the UK Meet the Victims in when was it? 2018, I think. Pretty sure it's 2018. The two people that organised it are now no longer vegan, but they fucking shut their social media accounts off, so they didn't have to deal with anyone.
Yeah.
And they were actually.
Was that recently that they went never really vegan?
I'd say it was over a year ago.
Okay.
That they were dabbling in, you know, the same usual shit. You know, it's like salmon and eggs.
I tried a little bit. I tried one egg. I tried a little salmon. Now.
Yeah. I actually found that out from a group of friends that sort of like know that know them, like, you know, and it's sort of like, oh, you know, it's like a bit of a secret because and you go onto their social media profiles and that they're gone. I mean, that says it all, really. I mean, I've done the same thing because I couldn't be asked with the backlash. A lot of people will go quiet. There's another guy I noticed that's gone quiet. He's called Jordan Stephen. Don't know if you've seen him at all.
I'm not seeing him. No.
He was becoming sort of like the next fucking Jerry Carbstrong, if you like. He even stayed in fucking Australia with James Ashley's mum. I think they do this thing where it feels like it's almost like a little bit of it's like a holiday, but they're like training up activists. So he went and stayed with James Ashley's mum, and they sort of, you know, they're being looked after on their property at the same time while they're sort of, like training activists. I don't know how often this happens.
Yeah, it's like it's like Scientology, you know, like you go on these retreats and you learn all the ins and outs of the cult.
But yeah, there's a few. You notice that they go quiet, and in my mind, I'm like, he ain't vegan anymore.
Yeah.
Joshua Entis as well. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's another one.
No, he went quiet too.
He's another one. You know, I mean, like biggest followings. Like, no, he had like 30,000 followers on Instagram at least. I think he might have had a page or whatever. But he's gone quiet. There's a few of them I've noticed gone quiet. Chris Hines, actually, absolutely fucking sound guy. I do like Chris. He's gone quiet. So I mean, you know, it's questionable, isn't it?
You get happy when you see that, like, hey, you know, maybe this guy's getting healthier. Maybe he's getting.
I do, yeah, because I would like for them to reach out because, you know, they're going to get so much fucking hate, and you really do. I mean, I didn't even fucking announce it really. It's just people, you know, a few people found out, and I was getting, you know, my fucking message request box was filling up. I was getting messages through Facebook Messenger. Yeah, obviously they were messaging my girlfriend and stuff as well, and it's, you know, I didn't even fucking announce it. Imagine if I announced it on my meme page, like, you know, it'd just be a fucking influx of angry vegans. But that's
you and I got in touch like a few months back, and I told you that it'd be cool to, you know, maybe do a live stream sometime, talk about some of this stuff, and I'm glad you decided to come on, man. It's not like Simon's over here just like, hey man, let me come on your channel. I'm trying to do this or that. Like, he's got an Instagram page. He's not, you know, he's a good dude, family man, obviously, and he's doing his thing. And I asked him, I like, come on, let's talk about this. Because I've been kind of checked out from engaging with these people because none of them will engage with me anymore. And all the prominent ones have dropped off. All the ones that had credibility, you know, John Venus, Jacko, all these people we've already talked to, you know, Tim Sheaf, you know, a lot of these solid dudes like who left the movement. There aren't very many left. So I mean, just, you know, shouting out to some of these guys out there who you mentioned. If there are any vegans out there and you guys watch this, I think there probably will be a lot of ex-vegans watching this and you know, agreeing with what you're saying. You guys,
I fucking hope so. I do hope so, and I think you're right. I do think because you do keep, you know, I mean, I've done the same. I didn't watch very much really. I watched a few of Bobby's perspective videos.
Bobby's another one, prominent vegan who left. Yep. Yeah.
I can't remember who else it was. It might have even been a couple of yours. It was actually, because you had the robot voice talking about fucking Greta, who's another bloody shill.
Uh-oh. This is what I'm saying. Like, you know what's going on in the world. How could you look at this and not just be like, this is such a scam? Like, to me, it's so obvious. To other people, it might take a different approach. To me, it's just like, this is so obviously a scam.
Yeah.
Look, any other vegans out there, if you guys, ex-vegans, feel free to DM me. Instagram is usually a good place to DM. I try to check those ones. Twitter, my Twitter got deleted, so I had to make a new Twitter. But hit me up on Instagram, or hit up our friend Simon here too. Like, if you guys want to come on and have a chat, like, we could do this again. We could do a round table or something. We could even we could watch some cringy vegan activism videos and laugh about it and talk about your perspective now. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, it would be good to get somebody on and do, like, I don't know if you could do it. Have like a three-way.
Yeah, we could do it here. We could have 4 or 5 people. We can do a round table.
I'd love to get my mate who I mentioned earlier. He was like a solo activist. I'd love to get him on. And
that'd be really cool. Yeah, because
like I said, he was raised a fucking vegetarian, never eaten meat, and then he's massive vegan activist, and then he just I think his was the same. It was like energy levels and his recovery, and he was going to the gym, but he wasn't fucking getting anywhere, because you're not gonna, if you're just eating plants, you ain't gonna, if you wanted to get bigger in the gym and stronger, you just ain't gonna do it on plants.
It's so hard, especially if you're just farting and you're shitting all day. Like, you're literally destroying your digestive tract. Not that nobody can handle it. I know there are vegans, there are people who do long-term vegan diets who could digest a lot of plant foods. I think a lot of our guts are trash, though. I mean, Orthodox monastics, like, they eat a lot of fish and shellfish and stuff. They're not vegan, but they get by just fine on a diet that has a lot of plants in it. Again, it's the fish and shellfish, so they're not vegan at all. But the Orthodox fasting of the monastics, that they do fine. Like, I think there's something about, though, especially in the US, UK might not be as bad, but like, our food supply is tampered with. Our guts are trashed. I can't digest a lot of these foods, unfortunately.
Yeah, I became the same with all the fake meats and stuff, like, I couldn't. I felt fucking sick, and I had to stop eating it. It's the same. It actually became the same. The same thing was happening with a lot of vegetables, specifically like green veg. I just felt sick after eating it, so I couldn't eat it anymore.
It's common, man. I think when you think our guts, the inside lining of our guts have more sensitive and more nerve endings. Like, you have more nerves inside your guts than you do the tip of your fingers. So you're so sensitive in there, and those little, they call them microvilli. They look like little kind of fingers that stick up in there. Those start opening up, and you get leaky gut into your bloodstream. You get stuff will cross the blood-brain barrier, and you get brain fog. You feel like crap. You can't digest. And I'm not saying that's all from plants. I think most of this is coming from pesticides. I think a lot of it's coming from the pharmaceuticals that we're all taking, the antibiotics and all this stuff. Glyphosate everywhere. Glyphosate was patented as an antibiotic because it would kill the microbes in the soil and stop the ability of the plants to take up manganese, and that's how it would kill the plants. And that's what we're putting in our bodies. It's sickening.
Yeah, and the things like the Beyond Burgers and shit like that. Like, it doesn't matter how fucking nice it tastes. Like, it's literally made of fucking vegetables, processed junk and fucking seed oils and stuff like that. Like, it doesn't feed you, like, as you just said, it doesn't feed your gut bacteria the right way. You might get a fucking taste, that little bit of taste that still doesn't fucking taste like a burger anyway.
Almost tastes like meat. But look, all right? So you got to the end of the line. Do you remember, like, the day where you were just like, man, I'm eating whatever, eggs or a steak? Like, what happened that day? When was it? I dropped my son back off to his mum, and there was like a local farm there down the road, and they're always selling eggs. And I thought I could fucking eat some eggs. I could probably do with some eggs, because I used to buy them years ago from a different farm on the same road, but it's a different farm, who didn't have eggs any longer. But they were like really orange, like rich yolks. Yeah. I thought, my fucking body needs some of this shit. So I ended up, because I used to drink, I used to drink a lot of smoothies. I drank a lot of smoothies anyway before I was vegan. That's what I'd have for breakfast. So I chucked a couple raw ones in there. I think really the next day, I definitely felt it the next day. That I just felt like a bit of, like I had a fucking rocket up my ass, like,
I feel like I feel there's something, whatever it was, I was lacking in a few things that, you know, I know a lot of people will say, oh, you know, you should have got blood work done or fucking sent your shit off to fucking Goji Man so he could fucking, you know, he's the bloody, the shit doctor, isn't he? I can't believe people fall for that as well. Like, you know, he's getting samples of fucking vegan poo through his door.
Is he doing all right now? Have you seen? I haven't seen him lately.
Simon. Oh man, I wouldn't be surprised if he's dropped dead, mate. Same with like Freely and that. I'm just surprised that they're still standing, like, you know.
So what's the end of the line? It's like, when do you just stop for these people?
But the thing is, I mean, the same with Goji Man. He's created a fucking business out of sick vegans. I mean, it's fucking disgusting in itself, really. He's literally got a fucking business.
Sad, because it's like I when I talked to him, I had a good conversation with him offline, you know, and yeah, I don't know. He and I had because he was trying to threaten to sue me, and so he got really weird for a while. It was pretty funny. Made for good memes, but we talked and we had a nice conversation, like a very candid conversation. He told me, hey, if I don't get the results, you know, that I'm looking for in 6 months or a year or something, he's like, I'll eat meat, basically, you know. And you know, it got to the point where he was just like kind of admitting, like, yeah, look, I'm looking for this. I've had all this happen in my past. My health was falling apart. Just like, dude, you're just wrecking yourself even more with this ideology. You just eat some eggs, man. You don't even need eat some freaking eggs. Get some raw milk or something. You know, if I don't get the results I want in like a year or so. So I'm summarizing, right? I'm not direct quote. I'm summarizing. Goji Man, don't get all butt hurt. You want to come back on? We can talk about it, man. Because I don't know. I liked him at the end of that conversation. I was like, you know what? This guy thinks he's helping people. I just felt, you know, I obviously think he's lost and confused. But yeah,
I think it starts to show, though, doesn't it? Like, don't you think it? Like, to me, he's showing signs that he's sick. He's starting. You know, he's got to. They call it end stage veganism, don't they? He's at.
He was there 3 years ago when I interacted with him.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing now. I mean, Freely, I don't know where she's at. That poor girl. Her poor parents, man.
But literally, like, again, she's. You know, she would be fucked if she was to, you know, turn her back on the animals, as she would say. I mean, where the fuck would her business go then? She's got probably one of the largest vegan audiences on the internet, I would have said. You know, as like a solo, you know, as just like a one person, you know, thing, like doing a thing, like, you know, creating ebooks for vegans, and I mean, she's pretty savage, isn't she? As you know, as far as you know, they go on YouTube. She's probably one of the most savage on there.
You hear me still?
Oh yeah. Sorry. You just
it gave like a weird blip. Yeah, no, I agree. She's a piece of work. She's a mouthy little one, isn't she? She got some. She gets lippy. Man, all right. So you had a couple eggs in a smoothie. You're like, all right, this is something. How long until, like, what was the next thing? Did you do the stages, or it was like eggs, then a little bit of fish or milk?
Yeah, I had fish and chips with one of my friends who was also vegan. He actually had he ended up buying it was a vegan business. He ended up buying like a vegan van.
Nice.
But we both had fish and chips.
Yeah. That must have felt good.
That was fucking good, actually. Yeah.
Nice cathartic, like, honest human moment.
I'll tell you what, as well. I had like a dirty kebab from the Indian, proper fucking dirty kebab, and fucking hell. I mean, it was just. I mean,
lamb, like greasy lamb, like fatty
it was just
lamb on it.
What you used to have like after a night out, like, you know. But fucking hell, it just filled the hole, like, you know. That was good. And now pretty much all I eat now is steak. That's what I feel. I feel like really that's the only thing that I need, like, you know. I love eating it. That's all I had today. Was steak. The pan was just full of steak, like, you know.
Man, oh, that's so cool. Because I always tell, like, you know, it's a lot of these people who are thinking about leaving veganism. They come and start asking me questions, and usually I just tell them, please just eat a steak. Don't do eggs, then fish, then just eat a steak.
Yeah,
because it's hard to convince them, because they're usually really emotionally like, oh, I don't know, like, I'll do a little egg, a little bit of dairy, I could have some cheese. I'm like, no, just eat a steak, because I just want to see your face when you eat
Yeah,
a
yeah,
steak. Like that's all I
yeah,
want to do. I want to see like your eyes light up and just like,
yeah.
oh, this is good food, and I don't feel guilty. This is good for me. I
It'll be
love
like,
seeing people come out of veganism. It's nice because you see them get healthier too. Like how
yeah,
long did it
yeah.
take you to how long did it take you to actually feel significantly better?
I'd say, I don't know, not very long. I mean, days, maybe a week.
Yeah.
And then I started like, because another thing as well. I mean, you could say it's sort of like a selfish reason, if you like, whatever. But I was losing. I was like losing weight.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I quickly fucking gained weight. Like I've gained since my lowest point. I've gained fucking like 5 kilos or something now. Like
Oh, that's solid, man. That's solid.
So yeah, it's been good. I mean, that's all I want. I didn't want to fucking shrivel up and end up like a fucking you know.
Aren't you worried about your carbon footprint? I mean, you'll be a lot more carbon you'll be using with that 10 kilos, What about Mommy Earth?
Mommy Earth.
She's probably bummed about that. But it's a win for you, win for your physique, but a loss for Mama Earth.
Mama Earth, yeah. I'm glad. Another thing I wanted to bring up actually was vegan children. I think that's fucking something that needs to be addressed and quite quick, sharpish,
Yeah.
I can't remember where I read it, but apparently, because they say in who is it that says it, the World Health Organization, they'll say that veganism is fine for all stages of life, including pregnancy and this and that. But I think
the American Dietetics Association is what that one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh, well, yeah, that's it.
A well-planned vegan diet is safe for all stages of life.
Have they changed that, or is that have I heard different?
I mean, that to me, it just sounds so absurd. Like, what do you even mean well-planned vegan diet? Like, it's not safe for any stage of life.
Yeah.
I maybe what they mean is it's safe for ending. It can help to end any stage of life.
Yeah, yeah. There was just a slight typo in the write up. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm glad I never made my son go vegan.
Thank God.
Because to me, it felt like a science experiment. I mean, he did eat a lot of plant-based meals while I was vegan, but he wasn't a vegan. I never even explained veganism to him, and I'm fucking glad I didn't.
Isn't that interesting? Like, there's something that just kept you, even though it was so important to you, you really believed it and you fought for it, right? Like you're like a masculine dude. Like you're a real man, and you're trying to fight for what you believe is true. But there was like you didn't buy it enough to bring it there. Like that was kind of your child's health was important enough to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Or I don't know like what it was, but yeah, it's interesting, man.
But it was purely because there's no civilizations of vegans ever in the world. It kind of just felt like it was like a science experiment, because I was brought up on meat, dairy, and eggs, and to then take that from him, like,
right?
Do you know what I mean? And then a lot of the vegan kids that I had seen, I mean, even people that I know that have kids, who like some of them will feed their kid a plant-based diet. I won't name any names, but I mean, some of the kids, they're just, in my opinion, especially the boys, they don't look like boys, they look like girls, and I think it's the soy. Or there's something that they're fucking lacking testosterone wise or whatever. I mean, I'm not clued up on it enough, but I mean, it's a no brainer just to see these kids,
Yeah.
So
what
I mean,
about
I didn't
teeth?
want that.
Do you notice like because something else that we've been talking about for a few years here is they get dental issues. That's what Weston A. Price was looking at too.
Yeah, I fucking lost this tooth here. I lost that fucker. I mean, it literally fucking crumbled in my mouth. Literally. I can't remember.
You're young and healthy. How old are you? What are you, like 30? Are you 31 max?
I was
How old are you?
34 beginning this month.
Okay, me too, man. 1987 crew.
Yeah, 1987, yeah. I can't remember what I was doing. It was like, I know I had like a bottle, and I think I knocked it on my tooth. I mean, it wasn't very hard. I know people will say, oh yeah, if you're gonna fucking just smack your teeth with a bottle, it's gonna crack. But I mean,
I don't know about that.
it just felt, the chip fucking topped off. The tip got cut off,
Yeah.
chipped off. Sorry, what I was trying to say. I can't get my words out there. And I was just like, fuck, like my fucking tooth's literally just, chipped off from really nothing. I hardly fucking touched it. That was a bit fucking disappointing, really. I thought maybe I'm obviously fucking lacking in something, like, teeth wise. My teeth would they got really fucking sensitive. They were sensitive anyway, but they were more sensitive over the years, for fucking sure. So yeah, maybe there was something I was lacking there, where maybe calcium or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I would say, like, what Weston A. Price kind of studied is these fat soluble vitamins. And vitamin D acts like a hormone, and that regulates calcium utilization and where the calcium goes in the body. And then that's made out of cholesterol. And also, you get vitamin D from animal foods. Vitamin K2 and vitamin D have synergy. Vitamin K2 helps to regulate where that calcium goes as well. Which is why, when supplementing with vitamin D, people should always use vitamin K2 as well. And then there's a synergy between those fat soluble vitamins and just like the development of the central nervous system. So imagine, like, you did this as an adult. Imagine doing this to a child who develops without these nutrients. And I'm not talking about vegetarian. That's totally different. Vegetarians are, you can live a full, complete, healthy life as fully vegetarian because you can eat as much cheese, dairy, eggs, and a lot of vegetarians will eat shellfish and stuff too. I'm talking vegan. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
Oops. Am I still live?
Yeah. Oh, well, I can still hear you anyway. Yeah, man. It's fucking savage, but I mean...
we're back. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I could still hear you.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I'll just say, man, it's just... it's savage. What the thing is as well, it should be mentioned that it doesn't... I don't think that they're bad people for doing it because that in their heart, that's what they think is right for their kids, but they're just fucking so consumed by the vegan ideology that they can't see it for what it really is, like,
It's really sad. It envelops people. It really takes over, and it's thankfully everybody I know in real life, not internet life, but also most of the cool people I met on the internet too that were vegan, they all come out of it. Eventually, they got to give up the ghost. They got to admit this is stupid. I'm at least gonna start eating a bunch of dairy and eggs and stuff, and you're starving yourself. This is really what you do. And to put your children in this world and to use your children as a prop for your online vegan whacktivism and your online e-celeb status, it's something that's shameful. I'm glad that, that's cool you never did that. I'm glad that, you probably would have thought it was weird if any of your friends did it, and you probably would have even called them out. You wouldn't even feed your dog a vegan diet, man. So, it's,
it's kind of the same reason because he was on a specific diet that didn't have it didn't have all these it didn't have fucking soy was one of them. There's a whole list of things on dog pack because it's a bit more expensive than you can just buy the cheapest crap, and it's got all these it's got all these colors and it's absolute shit for the dog.
Made in China.
But Bill Gates approved fucking kibble literally for your dog. But so he had all these things where it didn't have soy, it didn't have fucking this and that, and all, they removed all the stuff, so it's just better stuff for him, so I didn't want to take him off that because he'd been doing so fucking well, like as he is, like no issues, at the time. So so I guess it's the same reasons, isn't it? Really, when it boils down to it.
Did you ever talk to that, like, about that specific issue with activist friends? Because a lot of them are like, oh, you buy, this food you buy for your dog's got animal products in it, bro. Like, what is your problem? You're a murderer.
Yeah, the only time really, I'll be honest now, but the only time really what I did sort of like lie to it was with the AV, with the AV team, because he would be like, we'd have these Zoom calls and I'd have, he's called Snoop. He's at my girlfriend's at the minute. But he would like be there beside me like that, and then there'd always be one that'd be, what do you feed him, So, bit of a fucking awkward one because I was lying.
Yeah.
But I also wasn't that fucking far gone to feed my dog, a plant-based diet. So, Yeah, I don't know. Every cloud has a silver lining, like no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
As
and
they say.
that vegan cloud has a marbled steak lining because
Yeah,
you guys y'all got a steak at the end of the vegan road. That's the cure for veganism right there.
yeah,
Is
yeah,
a nice tomahawk steak, a nice ribeye or New York
yeah.
strip steak, big old fatty one, as much fat as you can get, the fattiest one you can find. You
Oh
know.
man, I mean that was the best fucking steak I've ever had in my life. It's fucking beautiful. 1.2 kilos worth.
That's
And
beautiful,
she,
man.
I mean, I'd love to have the picture here to share with you, but I haven't got it on here. But
You're
I
trying to
mean,
make me hungry. I've got
there's a picture. The picture of me that sort of went, like done the rounds was a picture of me eating it off the bone, like It's a fucking awesome picture, to be fair. But so I
Yeah.
don't know. It is what it is, isn't it?
I love it. I love it, man. Well, I know it's getting late over there, and it's been a great chat, man. I want to, I'll get you out of here before you get sick of me, so I can invite you back again, and maybe we can watch some cringy vegan videos and have a good laugh or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Figure
yeah.
something out.
I'll be keen for that. Yes.
Right on,
So
Simon. Great, man. You can find Simon over at sarcastic. It's sarcastic.simon on Instagram, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
really the only thing I use now.
He's got a good Instagram.
I've still got a vegan meme page on Facebook actually, which I can't change the name of it. It's called Vegan Memes. It's got 16,000 like followers.
You
I'm
should have some
posting all
fun with
these.
that. Post some steaks.
I'm having fun with it. So I'm posting the content that I'm putting on my Instagram is going on this page, and everyone's like, "Fuck's going on? What's happened to him?" And then I've got all the fucking, they were like anti-vegans on the page because there was a lot of people that had followed it because one of the images, or a couple of the images went viral. Now that fucking influx of non-vegans, if you like,
That's
as they
funny.
would be dubbed at the time. So they're all like, "Woo! Fucking look at this here."
Apostate vegans are joining the ranks over there. That's awesome, man. And
So
what's
I
that one
mean,
called? Vegan memes on Facebook?
it's just called Vegan Memes. Yeah, I don't know if it'd be the first one to pop up. I would have thought there'd be a few that are called that, like. But
Throw this video, put a link to this video, a link to the YouTube one up on there and see what people say.
yeah, I haven't read any comments anywhere, so I don't know what's been said.
Awesome, man. Big old shout out to, gotta give a shout out to the sponsor as well. Shout out to chalk.com. I wouldn't shill it if I didn't use it. Chalk.com got the best natural adaptogens you can get over there. They got the Shilajit. I really like the purified Shilajit, the daily, trying to get your hormones balanced, trying to de-soy yourself. You got Bill Gates, Prince Khalid trying to destroy you. Chalk's over here trying to de-soy you. So get unsoyed, the anti-soy. Get some of that chalk over there. But you got to use promo code BIG60 because you get 60% off store-wide. Check it out. Hit them up over there. And then if you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure to go over and follow on Rockfin because we've got a lot of content there on Rockfin that is not YouTube friendly. Oh, we just cut out for a second. That might still be streaming, but I can
still hear you.
Come back. There we go. I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. We got a lot of stuff over there on Rockfin that's not YouTube friendly. And by not YouTube friendly, I mean YouTube doesn't let you talk about anything real these days. So if you want the real down low, what's happening in the world, you can follow some of the stuff over there on Rockfin. I quite enjoy being able to speak uncensored about whatever I want over there on Rockfin. And I know everybody who supports over there on Rockfin, who upgrades to a subscription for some of the premium content over there, they feel the same. Rockfin's awesome. And make sure to follow over there. You make an account, follow for free, and then you can access the premium members content if you want later on. But at least half, maybe even more than half the content is up there for free, 100% uncensored. So yeah, hit up chalk.com, 60% off, store-wide, links in the description below. Yeah, Simon, you got any last words, Simon? Any last comments or thoughts that we didn't hit on before we sign off here?
Fucking hell, I don't know. It's not like I wrote anything down or anything like that.
Cool.
Don't know. Maybe like Gary Ofsky's watching and he's, maybe he'll reach out and he's ex-vegan. I don't know. Don't know where I'm going.
Hit us up, Gary. Hit us up. Hit up Simon for a chat, Gary. He'll help you out.
Gary was actually, Gary, you know where Gary Ofsky is now?
Where? I don't know where he is now. No, doesn't he have like a petting zoo that he calls he has his own petting zoo now?
Oh, I'm not sure, but the
Sanctuary.
The reason why he's not around anymore is because he was paid a retirement fund by guess who?
Ooh, the donor?
Yeah.
Just because he made the movement look too bad and they wanted to get him out of the way?
He reached out. He reached out to the guy and basically asked for a retirement fund, I guess, and he was granted it. So that's why he's fucking
Is that a picture? I wonder if he reached out for a retirement fund. That doesn't make sense. It almost sounds like it would be more likely that they're like, hey, we'll give you this retirement fund.
No, as far as I know, he reached out to him because he was, his funds were, he wasn't getting very much. So he reached out to the donor.
Wow. So now he just gets to smoke joints all day, or what's he doing?
So now he can do what the fuck he wants. He's done his bit as far as he's concerned. So, but I think
he's retired for the animals. I thought he was I thought he was a hardcore activist. It's all about the animals, but now he's got his money. He's just going to shut up and go away.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, you don't. If you're a vegan activist, if you're an activist for something that's occurring, it's still occurring now. You're not really going to stop, are you? Let's be honest.
No, if you really care about the animals, you don't stop. You don't get bought out. Sounds to me like he got bought out and silenced by people who didn't see him as useful for their agenda. Well, that's what it sounds like to me.
When I realized that, like, where the fuck is he? Why would he just drop off like that? Because he was so, he was just getting such a big name. He could have really done something with it, and probably, made something of himself anyway.
Yeah.
And I thought he was sort of like silenced. This is going back to when I was first vegan, when I first became vegan. So, but yeah, he was essentially paid off. So.
That's crazy. I mean, one can only speculate on why or how the exchange went down, but that's a juicy one to finish on. Simon, you got the open invite. We got to do this again, man. Watch some vegan videos. You can drop some more knowledge on us. We appreciate the chat, man. It was really nice.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably a shitload of stuff we didn't cover, but yeah, we'll do another one.
We could keep going all night, man, but I know you got stuff to do. We're already 2 hours deep. People like the shorter videos, so we got to do it again, man. Maybe in a few weeks I can bug you and convince you to come back on again. Yeah,
just ping me a message and we'll see if I can sort something.
Sounds good. And then, hey, any other vegans out there? You guys want to reach out? We can talk. If there are any that would like to come on and discuss or debate, I'm fine with that too. Whatever you guys want. The prominent vegans. If you think I'm wrong, let's talk about it. We can talk about some of these issues. We can hash it out. We can debate. Or I think there are probably a lot of ex-vegans watching. If you guys want to discuss, if you guys got a cool story you want to share, I'm down for that as well. I know we got a vegan midwife, an ex-vegan midwife that's going to come on very soon, and she's a crazy story dealing with a lot of vegan pregnancies and stuff. And so we're going to get deep into the vegan children, vegan pregnancies, veganism and infertility, and all this stuff that our buddy Simon here, his heart wouldn't let him, do to his children.
I mean, I'm sure people have if that was known, people they would just say, "Oh, you were never vegan then." But I mean, I don't know. You just do what you think's best with the information that you've been given. So that's what I done.
Yeah, and if you got the information, it's on you. It's on you. You can't deny it. And you can't deny what's right in front of your eyes. So yeah. Awesome. I'm going to end the broadcast here. Thank you, everybody on YouTube. Thank you, everybody on Rockfin. We are out of here. I'll see you guys next time.